I want you to understand that it's okay to cry. I think is what
mm,
you're really saying with your book.
mm, mm.
It's okay
Oh
to,
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And
and I want you
there's
to write
other
the book.
and yeah, and what's coming through the book is that, like, let's go back to that. I remember clearly in school, like as a young child, like in from probably 6 years of age, 7, 8, 9, 10, to saying you are unique, you are a unique individual, and again, no matter how many times you say that, it still won't dispel the otherness, like narrative that's
It's
been created.
okay.
Yes, you're told that but you need to be repeatedly, repeatedly, repeatedly. And there's some things like hair color or eye color. Yes, they're different. They're acceptable differences. But there's some other differences that become unacceptable differences. And that's where the problem occurs that you're talking about here, where you can accept these other differences the same as you accept your hair color difference or your eye difference or whatever. And that for me is the opportunity, just from what you've described there, is that these other parts of your unique nature, your gifts, your talents, don't become other than other, like make you feel like you don't belong. They are you and they're your gift, and embrace them as soon as you possibly can, because it's only through that channel that you can actually truly be happy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Suggest that we always start with asking a question because that opens the mind. Okay.
Mm.
But it's not telling people what to think. It's not telling people like how it is because like that talks to the logical brain.
Oh
That's
yeah.
repeating yourself, right? But
Oh,
when we talk to the 90% by asking the right question, do you think it's right to expect boys not to cry?
yeah, yeah. And that's what I begin my story with. Like begins, I don't ask a question, but I do share that story right from the get-go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the otherness associated with that. And maybe that's the channel, the door opener, but like not directly a question, but it's an invitation. The word invitation comes up again, an invitation to reflect and think about
Mm.
your own childhood experiences, I think.
When
Yeah.
does that start? When does that start? When does that belief come from?
Mm,
Let's examine that. Because when every baby's born,
mm,
don't we tap them on the back until they cry?
yeah.
Like we get worried, right? They're
Yeah. Yeah.
panicking. They're like, oh my God, there's something wrong with the baby. It's
Yeah.
crying. So at what point do we expect boys not to have the permission to express themselves?
Mm.